themes I don't care about, which sound particularly ignorant and stupid to me, are they pay too much, or it's like, stop. You can't pay too much to ensure the health and upright nature of your quarterback. There's no overpaying for that. So I don't want to hear that. Or so-and-so's a stretch. And you usually don't draft a lineman at this position. I don't want to hear any of that. I'm thrilled with what has been going on with the Chicago Bears and how they went about this, how assertively they did it, how they got the guys they went after and what it looks like, at least on paper. So, hell, it's a trickle down. Even the Bulls have won 3 straight while this is going on. So, we got a lot of stuff happening.
No, absolutely. So they're finally building this team the right way. Are you kind of giving this group the benefit of the doubt when it comes to moves being made and not being extra critical, like you mentioned?
Well, I don't believe in a right way. I know that most people say you build it, lines first, but they didn't. And if it works, they won't have done it the right way. They will have done it the other way, where they went and got the skill guys first and got guys in the trenches, and it's sort of backward. But I don't care about that. The result, the bottom line, is what I care about. And as Waddle knows, last year I said I want to see improvement. We didn't necessarily see that,
no.
But I said that because I thought it was fine to go and get Caleb and Rome Odunze, and they already had DJ Moore, and get Swift. I thought it was fine, but you knew you had to come back, and at some point real quickly, you better have some line play. And getting 5 linemen in a matter of a few days, what looks like 5 guys are going to start. Hell, that's a good thing. So I'm all aboard with what they're doing, even if it wasn't conventional.
Did anything surprise you about what they've done over the course of the last several days, or is this kind of what you expected?
I didn't know enough to be. I knew that they were going to try to fix the interior of the offensive line before getting to the draft. And if they could, it would give them uncommon flexibility going into the draft, which is what they, according to me, would seem they have. Because they've gotten the 3 starters that they want at guard and center. So now, they've got options. And it still may include using the number 10 pick on one of the linemen they prefer. It just means you don't have to be you're not handcuffed when you do it. You go in thinking, okay, this is what we want to do, not what we have to do. And so I don't know if the surprise was it, just happy that it worked out. Because you could see the steps they were laying out as they went about it, going back to the trade for Tooney and my man from the Rams. So you could see what it is they were trying to do. And Dahlman, was like, okay, if they can get him, this clearly then sets them up to go after defensive linemen. So the plan, it wasn't like what they were doing was secretive.
Right.
What they were doing, sometimes, it's a matter of do the smart thing. And this seems all the world to me. Tommy, you tell me, because I laid off texting you a million times over the weekend, thinking I'd talk to you today to hear what you thought of what they've done so far.
Well, this has made sense to me, and we've had this conversation all day about, not getting out over your skis. We're always winning the offseason. And,
yeah.
And listen, we went through a whole list of different publications and websites and other places that last year graded the Bears offseason very, very high, and it turned into 5 wins. So I get everybody's skepticism and everyone feels like they've been burned a bit. But I can actually, I sincerely feel that this is different. The coach is the right guy from my perspective. Yep. They're building it in a manner in which we've all asked them to do it. Work at the line of scrimmage to provide some protection for your quarterback and enhance a running game that will certainly serve him well as an addition. So, yeah, I can sit here and tell you I'm optimistic. I like what they've done. What it will turn into in the number of wins in 2025, I can't guarantee you that, but it just feels like they've done things the right way this time.
Okay, good to hear coming from you. And I may be wrong. I've certainly talked to a number of people who have opinions that matter about it, and it's pretty heavily skewed in favor of, yes, this is the way to do this. And obviously it doesn't just it's not a matter of an autocrat sitting in an office saying, here's what you'll do. this has Ben Johnson's fingerprints all over it, and you hire him knowing, and obviously he sat in that interview saying, here's what, if I'm coming here, here's what we need to do.
Yep.
And good for him, and good for them, and good for some collaboration. And for the people, and I said this to you guys over a year ago, that I don't believe that George McCaskey is going to be a guy standing up with a red light in his hand and saying, we're not going to do business this way, we're going to do it the way we've been doing. I told you guys I didn't believe that. That's why you bring in a new president. That's why you hire somebody who's done it at multiple levels, in this case the Minnesota Vikings in the Big Ten. That's why you do it. So all those things seem to be working in concert and moving in the right direction.
Yep.
Michael Wilbon joining us on the Yingling guest hotline. So they've basically solidified their starters on the offensive line, their starters on the defensive line at 10 in the draft, and odds on various gambling websites have them at the highest odds right now to draft Ashton Genty at 10. What would you think if he's available at 10?
They're not going to get Ashton Genty because they're going to go to the Raiders. But I like the kid from Missouri who brings great flexibility and impress everybody at the combine, the lineman. Mimbo, is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Armand so. Membo, yeah.
I like. I also, so I like him. I like the kid from, is it South Dakota or North Dakota?
I believe it's North Dakota
State, yeah.
Six lineman, the name starts with a Z. I'm having a senior moment. Because he also played some center. I mean, there's just flexibility when you look around at teams and line play, and people do get hurt and people do underperform, and you need to have people that you are developing, which seems to be part of Ben Johnson's secret sauce. So I like both of them, and if I don't care about the two themes I don't care about, which sound particularly ignorant and stupid to me, are they pay too much, or it's like, stop. You can't pay too much to ensure the health and upright nature of your quarterback. There's no overpaying for that. So I don't want to hear that. Or so-and-so's a stretch. And you usually don't draft a lineman at this position. I don't want to hear any of that. You get who fits what you're trying to do. And we're not talking about taking like the third running back in the draft on the board with the number 10 pick. And by the way, when you have 10, 39, and 41, is that what we have?
Yes, I believe so.
It seems like you can still get, if you wanted to take one of those two linemen at 39 and 41, one of those backs, like all five of those top five running backs in the draft are not going to be gone by the 41st pick.
Right.
Two of those guys are going to be remaining. I don't know whether it's going to be the kid Omarion from North Carolina, who seems to fit everything that Ben Johnson sort of believes in. I don't know if he'll be there, or maybe the kid from Ohio State will be there. One of those guys is going to be there. Somebody's going to be there at 39 they can use early on, if not starting. Yeah. And somebody's going to be there at 41 who they can use early on. So whether an edge rusher, same thing. Like every edge rusher is not going to be gone by 41. So those three things that the Bears appear to need can still be addressed. So if Genty's there, my God, yeah. I mean, come on. It's the kid from the great two-way player from Colorado. If he's
Hunter, Travis Hunter?
If Travis Hunter's there, I don't care. You throw everything else out and you say, wait a minute, Travis Hunter's on the board. So, yes, the same, probably goes for Genty. Look, I grew up, I'm a Bear fan longer than both of you combined. All right? I got to actually see and follow Gale Sayers as a child. So I understand the importance of running back to the Chicago Bear franchise more than anybody listening to you right now. And so I'm not going to say no to Ashton Genty. I'm not going to say no if he was still on the board. I would love to see that. I just don't think that's going to be available.
Do you have any interest in where Aaron Rodgers will play next year?
None. And I think that our network is the only one keeping that alive. And it's like, if he goes to Pittsburgh, is it relevant? Yeah, because he's got these two receivers. But do I think Aaron Rodgers can play anymore? No. Were people watching his inability to even move last year?
What if the Minnesota Vikings became interested in him for the 2025 season?
And really, so they're going to retard the growth of the guy they chose number one and were prepared to start a year ago?
What if that's the path that they would choose? I mean, it's an interesting question.
Let him.
Okay.
I don't give a damn where Aaron Rodgers is going. I don't care except to root against whoever he goes to. I don't care where Aaron Rodgers isn't going to lead anybody to anything significant.
Well, Waddle's a little scared.
Well,
Waddles doesn't want him to be with Justin Jefferson and Addison.
I wouldn't consider it scared. What I would say is I can envision a scenario where in that dome, with that head coach, with those weapons and an improved offensive line, it's not out of the realm of possibility that a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback could have a resurgent season, and I don't want to see that inside my division.
Okay, I hear you. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see him. I hear you. I'm looking. Everybody goes back to at the end of the season. Yeah, it took him to the end of the season just to get warmed up. His old cranky bones were broken. We're talking about a guy who hasn't done a damn thing in 3 years. And so now he's going to come out of the bullpen and be Dennis Eckersley.
I prefer he goes to. Either way, I don't care. But I would prefer he goes to Pittsburgh and allows.
I'd like to have you know what? I'd like to have a shot with a couple of pass rushers, including Odengbo, get a shot at him.
So you would like to see him under center for the Vikings so that you could give him hell.
I really don't.
Yeah,
care.
Right. Because then you see him also dropping back and hitting Justin Jefferson for a 50-yarder.
I also see him getting laid out after he looks up and sees that Justin Jefferson has the ball and he can't make the next play. And I'd also like to see him find the Pittsburgh uniform getting laid out by the Baltimore Ravens, and that would happen.
So
I really, again, the Aaron Rodgers of it, I'm not hanging on every word of Aaron Rodgers. I'm just not.